Okay, I'm gonna make some videos here about uh, Latino is not a race separate from white people. Okay, Latino is not a race. Uh, it seems like I said that in society that within the United States really that somehow Latin, these words Latin, Latino, or Hispanic mean not white. This is not a reality. Uh, Now this video is going to be more about a little bit of backstory from where Latin, Latino, all these terms came from. You'll be surprised that it basically comes from white people. So I find it kind of ironic in these days that somehow is being construed as being not white. So I'm going to give a little bit of backstory. Modern day Latin America is called such is because they speak the dominant language there are Latin derived languages, mainly Portuguese and Spanish. Now these are languages that are vulgar forms of Latin. Latin was the language of ancient Rome. The Romans spoke Latin, and of course, they occupied many places in Europe, and in certain places, a form of their language, a vulgar form of their language, took root. In Spain, modern-day Spain, and Portugal, some of those places. So, what happened is, after Columbus discovered America, well, technically he didn't discover it. I mean, there was people here already. The native people, indigenous peoples were here already. But as far as Europeans, actually the first Europeans were the Vikings. But they didn't really discover it because it was just a temporary settlement that lasted only I think 10 years or something, they say. But when Columbus came 500 years later, the floodgates opened up. So that was really more technically a discovery. And behind him came, since he sailed for Spain, behind him came explorers called conquistadors. Okay. These were men who came from Spain and Portugal. Now, the Spanish conquistadors, Hernan Cortez, landed in what is modern day, Mexico, and he kind of destroyed the Aztec civilization. Now there are records. There are records of contacts from the Aztecs. I've been reading this book called The Broken Spears, the Aztec account of the conquest of Mexico. This is by Miguel Leon Portilla. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And there's accounts of their interactions with these conquistadors. Now, I'm explaining this so there's no misunderstandings here about who the Spanish was and such. There are accounts of them describing the Spaniards. Now, from this book, I will give you some of the Aztecs' impressions or descriptions of the conquistadors. Here's one passage. The last of the Montezumas who had come out to meet them in the belief that the white men must be that god. I put it on the screen here. Not quite sure how to pronounce that. And other gods, returning at last from across the waters, now known as the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Let me just find the other passage. Okay. Now this is a description of the Spaniards, the Spanish conquistadors, from a messenger of the Aztecs. Aztec messenger. Their skin is white, as if it were made of lime. They have yellow hair, though some of them have black hair. I'm sure many had brown also. Their beards are long and yellow, and their mustaches are also yellow. Okay, now I'll just read one more passage in here. Okay. Now this is about Cortez meeting a Aztec prince. Cortez responded in Spanish fashion. The prince was astonished to see a man with such white skin, and with a beard, and with so much courage and majesty. Now that is the Latins, the first Latins on the what is known as the American continent here. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll get into more in later videos in the near future.